You're listening to A Radio.
Thank you for joining us. You're listening to A Radio, and this is The Morning Moment. Follow us on Spreaker.com and click on the like button. You can find us on most social media platforms such as iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Go to our website, aradio.wordpress.com, for details, where you'll find more content and details on our podcasts and more. This piece is the story of how you are censored, in this particular instance on Facebook, but I'm sure it applies to Twitter and all the others. This piece is exclusive to the Rebel Media, and you can find it online. Just look up Rebel Media on YouTube, while you can, of course. What you will hear here are excerpts of a nearly 20-minute YouTube. What you will hear, to my mind, undermines all who think that regulating what I call socialist media is a bad thing to undertake, and will have the exact opposite of the effect that one desires. Maybe you'll have a different opinion after you've heard this. I believe that after you've heard these excerpts from this interview, you will draw the same conclusion that I've come to. Also, I've left in a piece from a Facebook executive. In it, you will hear how they actually discriminate against white males, which I could only describe as racist and almost certainly, but I don't know, illegal. But hey, what do I know? Maybe, just maybe, someone out there who does know will have an opinion on it. It would be nice to know, wouldn't it? No one, and I mean no one, has the right to silence your views. That's, of course, if you live in a free country. That presupposes that, doesn't it? No one has the right to determine what you and I think or say and decide whether it's legal or illegal and should be removed from public view. And when you learn how systematically these non-democratic organisations have gone on about their work and sanctioned certain groups in our society, in other words, what they determined is right-wing, conservative or Republican. Silencing such a large slice of all our societies will ultimately fail. Why? Well, it's simple, because they're not a minority. It's the majority, be it the Liberals and the liberal media in Canada or the Democrats in the United States alone with the complicit media. I think the vast majority of citizens did not know the truth of which I speak. Here are those few clips.
I got an email, and I've documented that, hey, they wanted me to flag any examples of right-wing extremism outside the United States. So this is something that they're actively looking for, and this goes as far as elections. They want us to flag any content regarding specific elections, even in Canada. So when in this last Canadian election with Jagmeet Singh, there was specific guidance to watch out for any hate speech content targeting candidate Jagmeet Singh with their hate speech with dehumanizing comparison. And once again, the policies are very, very nuanced, but they don't allow political speech. For example, if I say keep Canadians out of the United States, that's something that's not allowed. That's a violation of the hate speech policy tier 3 for exclusion. But we see them time and time again targeting conservatives and also giving exceptions to the policy to allow for newsworthy, what they deem as newsworthy.
And I can't believe that an American company is censoring what Canadians can say about a Canadian election. That's what's weird to me.
I would be working on looking at maybe 200 pieces of content a day, and of those, so let's say 1,000 jobs a week that I'm doing, or either deleting or leaving on the platform, and I would be audited on maybe 50 of those a week. So if it wasn't audited, then it would never be raised up to anybody what I deleted or what I didn't delete. So there is a system in place, but it's not, there are things can slip through the cracks. Yeah.
If you're doing 200 a day, my rough math says that's about 2 minutes each.
Yes.
And of course, you're not having, it's not like a trial where you have a prosecutor and a defender and you're a judge. You're just glancing at something. You're judge, jury, prosecutor, executioner, the whole thing. Mm-hmm. A senior HR business partner of Facebook, Leslie Brown, we've been talking about Sikhism and a Sikh candidate. Here's a clip of Leslie Brown talking about, well, then not quite every race or religion is equal in Facebook. Let's take a quick look at that.
But I mean, they were able to fire him without having to worry about discrimination.
Due diligence, right.
No,
yes,
I'm
because
saying
it's a white
James
man.
Lamore. Yeah,
white man, so no problem. You can't do it that easily if there are other issues.
Oh, it's easier when they're
white men.
Okay.
I'm just terrified that there are secret armies of corporate bureaucrats doing the deleting. How many people were working with you in Phoenix? Were you doing this from home, or were you in a big office?
So we worked in the office, and because of the type of content we received, so we would look at pornography, also child pornography. So because of U.S. laws, we had to work in an office, and some of the material was very sensitive. But yeah, in my office in Phoenix, there were shifts around the clock, 24/7, and there was roughly, I would say, anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 people at that office.
Did you just say 1,500?
Yes.
1,500 censors. And you were working obviously in shifts, working 24 hours a day.
So one of the most egregious examples that we saw during as far as our elections is in 2018. There was a kid who was a Trump supporter wearing a MAGA hat, and he was in a restaurant in Texas, and he got attacked and assaulted, and his hat got knocked off. So this was a viral video in the summer of 2018. And in the video, the adult was cursing at the minor, and so it technically violated. It's kind of a gray area, but you could argue that it violated Facebook's policies because we don't allow cursing at minors. So Facebook made the decision to delete this video across the platform. It was a viral video, but of course it showed a Trump supporter being victimized. And on the flip side, there was another good example that shows the converse, is that in Australia, there's a far-right senator named Fraser Anning, and he was doing a press conference, and he got attacked by a minor. And so this kid walked up behind him and egged him, cracked an egg on the back of his head. And so Fraser Anning turned around and slapped the kid in the face a couple of times, repeatedly, and that technically violates our child abuse policy. So we have child abuse, clear violation, but Facebook said, hey, we're making a newsworthy exception. We're going to allow this on the platform.
I urge you all to listen to the whole piece and contact your political representatives and call for public hearings. I don't care whether it's election time in the United States or anywhere else. Finally, end the antics of the socialist media, because what you're hearing, quite frankly, is George Orwell's 1984 in action. How else could you describe it? This is not fiction. It's happening right now to you and me. Just try and post something they don't like and watch how fast they respond. And that's my comment. You can find more at aradio.wordpress.com, where you can find links to us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Gab, Spotify, and email. We're on Spotify under the podcast section. Type in Canadian Politics with a twist and you'll find us. We are continuing to reach out to you, so please pass these links on to your friends. Please click on the follow button on Spreaker.com. You can listen to all our morning moments at Spreaker.com/A-Radio, EHRADIO, A-Radio. And please click on the like button. Join us Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 11:45 Eastern, and tell your friends and pass the word. We only tell the truth, not what the mainstream media want you to know.